This is part 3 or last part of the video series on device identity verification and enforcement. In this video, we're looking at the last option, enforce. We're looking at the steps we need to take to enable it, and we're going to look at the user experience when this option is enabled. We're also going to emulate a bad actor who get a hold of someone's username and password. Enforce is the most restrictive option of device identity verification and enforcement, which is a new feature of CloudConnexa. In order to enable this option, you need to expand settings and go to users. As you can see, since our last video, we changed the device enforcement option to learn and enforce. So go ahead, click on edit and scroll down, and we're going to choose enforce. This is the option that when you enable it, you as the administrator have to associate the user profile with the device when it is created. Only users with trusted devices can use the profile and connect successfully. Minimum requirement for the client app is displayed on the screen. So we need to make sure that our client's app have been updated or upgraded to the latest version. Also, since every device has to be associated with a device ID or UUID, since I'm enabling this right now, I already have 5 devices that they are not associated with any UUID. So I need to go back and associate those devices with an ID. When happy with your selection, click on update and then confirm. Now, device enforcement is enforced. So let's go to users, click on users or expand users and then click on users and we're going to create a new user. Click on create user. The username is going to be Braden. Let's type Braden here. And then here we go. Let me make sure. Okay. And then the rest of the stuff, I'm going to leave it as optional. Group, we're going to change that to tech support. And he is a member. So click on create. Then we're going to click on Braden's account, which we just created, and we need to associate a device here. So click on plus sign, and we're going to name it like something like Braden underscore device or Braden device. And then we need to get the UUID. As you can see, I don't have the client UUID here. So let me bring up the command prompt and we're going to type, we're going to figure out what's the UUID. Let me type the command and we can see the UUID. I'm going to copy this and paste it in the appropriate field in the user property. So let me go back and then I'm going to paste that here. Once done, click on create. So as you can see, Braden device has been created and is associated with the UUID. Another way to find the UUID is after installing the client app or Connect app, you can open the app and then click on settings to see the device ID or UUID. As you can see it on the screen, is the same number that we have. So that's another way to find the UUID. So let's go back to our user and continue our scenario here. Now let me get the temporary password here since we just created this account, and we're going to look at the user experience. So I'm going to open up another tab and I'll go to user portal. Let me type the username and the temporary password. Click and sign in. Since it's the first time, it's going to ask Braden to create a password for himself. So let me create that. And then accept terms and click and sign in. So we are on the user portal and going to go to devices. You can see the UUID that's associated with the account. This is the same computer that I'm using right now. I'm going to download the profile. Braden is in Chicago, so let's go ahead and download this. And then double click on downloaded file. It's going to import the file to the Connect app. Let's go ahead and connect. And here we go, username Braden. Let me type that here, and then password, and click on sign in. So we have a successful connection. As you can see, everything goes according to plan. So let me go ahead, log into a different computer. Okay, I'm on another computer right now. As you can see, I got Braden's account up on the screen with the UUID or device ID that is registered to his account. So let's look at the UUID of this computer. as you can see, it is different than the one that's registered. So we are on a different computer. Let's say a bad actor got a hold of Braden's username and password and tried to connect to WPC. So I brought up the Connect app. Let me get the address here. I'm going to paste the address in a second. Here we go. I'm going to paste it here right now and try to log in with Braden's username and password from a different computer. So let me type Braden and then the password, and here we go. And then click on sign in. And we can log in as it was expected because we're using an untrusted device. Again, the UUID of this device is not the same as the one that is registered. Oops, I went to the wrong place. Let me go back to settings here, settings. So yeah, here we go. We can see that the device ID is not the same. Now let's say we got this bad actor who thinks that he's very smart and he's going to try to download Braden's profile from a user portal. So I'm going to open up another browser. I'm going to go to user portal. Let me go ahead, log in, type Braden here, and then password, and then click on sign in. So we are on the user portal. Let's click on my devices. Again, we got this smart guy who thinks he can download the profile. First of all, as you can see, he cannot create a new device. And now let's click on downloading profile. I'm going to choose the region, Los Angeles, and then click on download. So this bad actor got a hold of the profile. He's going to try to import it into the Connect app. Let's see what happens. And it's going to ask if you want to import it. We're going to click OK and then click on Connect. And as I can see, authentication failed because we're using an untrusted device. So no matter what, nobody can use Braden's username and password to connect to WPC because the devices are not trusted. We only have one trusted device under Braden's account. Again, this was the enforce option, which is the most restrictive option of all. So this was the last part of the three-part video series for device identity verification and enforcement, or DIVE for short. On the first video was introduction. We went over ZTNA and when device enforcement is set to off. And then on the second video, we look at the learn and enforce option and what steps it needs to be taken to enable it and the user experience. And in this last video, we look at the most restrictive option, which is enforce. We look at the steps and we look at the user experience and if a bad actor get a hold of the profile or username and passwords. The only thing that I want to mention here, we have to make sure that the client apps are updated and upgraded. We can see the minimum requirements on the screen right now. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the future videos.